So when you talk about the Torqbar, I would say people have three primary complaints. The first is that they're expensive. The second is that they're hard to get. And the third is that you cannot do a desk spin. These tall buttons that I just bought off the recent Torqbar drop address that third issue. So the Torqbar Tall C360 brass button cost me $40, which I'll be the first to admit is an absolutely crazy purchase, but I like this Torqbar a lot. And when I got a chance on the recent drop to pick up this set of buttons, I figured I'd go ahead and do it. They arrived recently, and here they are. It comes with this placard in the bag. It just says, basically they're the brass buttons in the BBT, which I means the Bead Blasted and Tumbled finish. That is as opposed to a machined finish. I wanted it to match this tumbled Torqbar. Here's the button itself. You don't get a whole lot for that $40 plus shipping, but Torqbar quality tends to be really high, so I guess that partially justifies it. Anyway, here's the spare threading rod or thread or whatever you want to call it. This is what screws into the buttons in case it breaks or you lose it, so you have an extra one now. And here are those tall buttons. Again, it's a blasted and tumbled brass. It doesn't quite match my Torqbar, which has a patina on it after a few months of use. But this is what the Torqbar looked like when I first got it. It was a yellower or maybe a golder color compared to how it is now, which is more brown. So unscrewing these buttons and we'll see the difference. One of the nice things about the Torqbar is actually how thin it is. It barely takes up any room in your pocket and you don't even see it on the outside of your jeans or whatever. So this will add a little bit of height. Let's just do a quick comparison. So there you go, there's the difference. Not too much. It's like maybe a 1/4 inch, and this is maybe 1/8 of an inch, give or take. Seems to be about the same, although I could see the sort of concentric circles on this one that I don't think I can make out on the original. This just looked like it's a tumbled finish, whereas this looks like it's machined and tumbled, even though these are the bead blasted version. Who knows? Anyway, let's get to testing. And there it is, a tall button Torqbar. This answers the prayers of many MD engineering fans. See a little bit of wiggle there. That is inherent in a bar spinner. Pretty minor. It sounds great. I really like how this brass Torqbar sounds. I know some people like their spinners to be silent, but I do not. That's definitely not a quiet spinner, and probably the bearing could use some cleaning. And obviously this spinner is reverberating off the desk a little bit, which is amplifying the sound. This will reduce wobble. And there it is, the brass Torqbar with the tall brass buttons. Pretty nice. I don't know if I could in any way justify this purchase, but I like my Torqbar, and it's nice to have these tall buttons. I think it might be a little bit more comfortable now. I kind of feel like the Torqbar is a little small, and you know, it kind of makes your hands feel like it's cramping up a little bit if you're using it for more than a few minutes. And the tall buttons should help with that, but at the end of the day, this is still a pretty small spinner, and adding you know, maybe an 1/8 of an inch to the height, or, you know, 1/8 of an inch total to the height isn't really going to make a huge difference. But it is nice that you could do a desk spin as an option with this. The lack of the desk spin, I didn't really mind it too much because I like the decreased height of the torque bar relative to other spinners, but it really did set it. It was one feature of the torque bar that felt really outdated. Basically every spinner that comes out nowadays has the ability to spin on the desk, and I know it's very important to some people. So personal preference for me, I don't know, I'm going to test these out for a few days before I say my personal preference, but I really do like these standard buttons. I think my hands, you know, don't like it after a few minutes of use, but I like how low profile the torque bar is, and this will decrease that slightly, but it is nice that this matches the design of the torque bar, and I would say the aesthetics are a little bit thrown off just because it looks a little bit bulgy compared to how it used to, but way better than when I had my zero feud buttons on here, or the rotor-blade buttons, which really overwhelmed the torque bar. These are definitely a better version than those, but they also cost a lot more than the rotor-blade or zero feud buttons. So anyway, those are the tall buttons for the torque bar in the C360 brass. Thanks for watching.